There you go. Microphone is on now. Microphone is on. All right. Hope you guys can hear me. Hope everything is going well. Just going to be on here just for a few moments. I will be doing a video again later on this evening, but I wanted to jump on here now because, again, I just want to do my part to be kind of a calming voice, I should say, you know. And like I said again, we're just only going to be on here for a few minutes, so hopefully you can hear me. Just give me a one or so if anybody's in, to let me know that you can hear my audio, and then we'll just continue on. Okay, but yeah, I typically don't go live this early, but I just wanted to, in light of recent events, I wanted to jump on here. So yeah, someone said I appreciate that, said they can hear me. So great. So yes, this will not be long at all. Welcome to the video. Welcome to the program, to the platform. Really appreciate that. And just wanted to jump on here really quick, really quick, just in light of this, what I saw. This crazy stuff posted on social media by President Trump. And I just wanted to mention that real quick, and let's hit that head on. But first, to start off our weekend, it is Friday, which means we made it to the end of another week. So make sure you check out our latest post on here on YouTube, because we are giving away, we always give away stuff. And this week, over at sambatree.com, we are giving away free music, because I wrote yet another song. And I really love this song. Like all of the songs I really like, but this one I really like. It's called Waterfalls and Raindrops. And I think you guys will really like that. So, free song, just follow the link on the community page here on YouTube. And then also, we got some free phone backgrounds that I designed as well. So, make sure you check that out. All right, so real quick. Oh, and then the CMOS Bladderwrack Burdock Root sale that is wrapping up this weekend. So make sure you guys, if you haven't picked up your pack, make sure you go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, let's talk about this. So anyway, so yeah, so woke up, and if I'm talking in a lower voice, is because yes, I'm in a, my voice does carry, so I have to not, I can't talk but so loud here. But anyway, just wanted to talk about. So I know by now, for many of you, you probably have seen the post that's been floating around. President Donald Trump, he posted. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you the headline, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the full context. Okay. I want to be very clear. I am in no way, shape, or form defending anybody here. Okay. I'll just start off at the top. That was evil. That was demonic. Period. There is no if, ands, or buts. What we do here on this platform is that when we look at the news, we are looking at the whole context of stuff. We try to make it as wide as possible so that we can see exactly, okay, understand the whole situation. And then at the end, we want people to make up their own minds as far as the conclusion is concerned. But we also always want to start at a place of facts. Okay. So that's where we're coming from. So if you hear, well, okay, I see where he's going with this. I'm not going where you're going, where you think I'm going. Okay. So let's start off from the beginning. So anyway, so all the headlines are showing that Trump on the Truth platform, that is like the conservative Twitter, he posted this picture of or a video that depicts former President Obama and his wife as apes. If you haven't seen it, yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay. Of course, everybody is running that. And so that I saw that, I just shook my head. And I was just like, man, this, I mean, I'm not shocked. I mean, I don't know anybody that's shocked. I mean, I'm certainly not shocked about that at all. So that is going all throughout social media like wildfire. So I said, let me look into this. Let me see what else is there, because I know there's a lot of things going on. And so I want to make sure that everything is that I'm aware of is being unpacked. Now, so when I looked into it, that was part of a much bigger video. There's a couple things here. Number one, that was part of a much longer video that showed not only it showed the Obamas as apes, but it also showed like all of his other main opponents, political opponents, he depicted them as animals as well. And so that was part of a much longer video. Okay. He was making fun of everybody. And then he made himself look like the lion, or like the Lion King or something like that. Now, I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy, and neither are you. That is not a coincidence that he chose to use them as he depict the Obamas as apes. That is not a coincidence at all. And we're not stupid, okay? Nobody here is stupid at all. We know exactly the messaging there, okay? So there's no way around that. Um, and then I also saw like some social people on social media. This one, Larry Elder, he was um, on his platform saying that okay, what he did was wrong, but did you have anything to say when Biden said this or did that or whatever? And no, we're not pivoting to Biden because Biden is not the president. Trump is the president. And so a president, regardless of the country, should not be engaging in this kind of stupidity and just evil. You know what I'm saying? That's just, there's no way around that. And and so that's the bigger story of what was going on. Now I'll stretch it out even more. What was going on regarding that video? Now, many of you, like here on YouTube or on X or on Instagram or TikTok, you know when you're watching a video and at the end of the video, another video just loads up. Well, that's what happened here. In this case, what happened was that was part of a, like I told you, it was a much longer video that was depicting all of his other Democrat opponents as animals, right? We've already established that it's not an accident or a coincidence that they decided to depict Obamas as apes. That is not a coincidence, okay, or just an accident or whoopsie. So we're not accepting any of that, okay? So we've already talked about that. We just talked about how it was part of a much longer video. Now, what what happened was that wasn't he didn't post that as the only video. Well, at one time, from what I'm understanding, he did post that video, but it was a video that he posted like way back. Like it was a long time ago. Nobody made a big deal about it at all. What it was that the first video, because if you look at the whole thing, the first video was a video that they posted showing in detail exactly what was going on as far as the voting fraud, the alleged voting fraud that took place down in Georgia. And so it was a very detailed video. It was only like a few minutes long. And then that's what they showed, right? And then it immediately rolled to that video, like their algorithm or whatever immediately showed that video. And so everybody is getting you to focus just on that. Okay. Again, I'm saying this again. I am not, what I'm doing is giving full context. I am not defending what he did was wrong. All right. And it's just something that whatever. Someone said, what YouTube channel are you referring to? I don't know. I don't know if I'm referring to any YouTube channel. Um, but that's the full context of what happened. So let me repeat it again. What happened was it was a long video, or it was a video that he posted, Trump did, that was detailing the alleged voter fraud that was going on in Georgia. I think it was Georgia, and they were showing in detail what was happening. The algorithm or whatever, it basically rolled to that next video that depicted where you saw the depictions of Obamas as gorillas or apes or whatever, and then you saw the other stuff. Then you saw the other Congress people and other talking heads being depicted as animals as well. Even Trump was depicted as an animal. So that's the full context of that whole video. Okay, so that's number one. So now you got that. Um, what was the other thing I wanted to say on that? As far as the video, okay, so that's that. am not giving the Trump administration, I am not giving conservatives, I'm not giving people on the right, I'm not giving them any room in any space on that, to try to make it seem like, oh, it was just all in fun. The United States of America, if you understand how our military works, or better yet, let me not even go to the military. Let me just go to politics and politicians. Politicians spend billions of dollars. When we look at Kamala and her campaign, I think they were in excess. I forgot what it was. It was well over $1 billion. Well over $1 billion that was spent just in PR and messaging and all of that. Same thing with the Trump, same thing with the Biden, same thing with the Obamas. Billions of dollars is spent on messaging. This is just in campaigns. That's it. We're just talking campaigns. We're not even getting into propaganda that the United States spreads all throughout the world. The United States, when it comes to propaganda, when it comes to spread messages, is very intentional and they are very specific. They are trying to say. So there is no, oopsie and he was half asleep. There is none of that. This was very intentional. Whoever was, he got whispering in his ears, and all you got to do is take a look at the composition of his inner circle, and it's a certain tribe of people that's usually there. So so I blame Trump, and I also blame whoever his inner circle is with that. But the fact of the matter is that was completely and utterly just crazy. Particularly, you're going to do that in Black History Month. I mean, so no, we're not. This ain't an accident. And so now that we got the facts as we know them on the table, let's talk about what's really going on here and why we, particularly as Black Americans, need to make sure that we're keeping our focus on point here. As you know, they, meaning the powers that shouldn't be, have been trying desperately to get Black Americans riled up and enraged about these ICE situations, the ICE protests, the anti-illegal immigration protests. And they have been trying their darndest to get Black Americans engaged in this. Because as I told you in the last video, most protests here in America, movements, they always look to Black people to be the face of them. No matter what the issue is, they always look to Black Americans to be the face of them. This is one of the first times that we have seen Black Americans stand on their square and say, no, we're not doing this. We're not defending something, an issue that has been very damaging to us as a people. And so this has angered many people who are pro illegal immigration. And we're not just talking white people, we're also talking many Black people as well who are very pro illegal immigration. We are not against immigration. Immigration is something that all nations do, but it's done legally and it should be done legally. When you do it illegally, what you're doing is you're taking people and you're pushing them ahead of those who are playing by the rules. You understand? And so when you're flooding the zone with a lot of people who haven't even followed any laws and not really even being checked, you are flooding communities with more competition that they have to deal with, and then everything, all the other packages that they bring with them. You understand? So that is the issue. And Black folks are the ones that bear the brunt of this. So Black Americans have been saying, we're not, no, we don't want to deal with this. We're not defending this at all. So they have been very angry with that. And we have meticulously gone through different situations on how they have used. We saw it with the recent Grammys, for example, and I'm going to get to your comments in a moment because I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say on this. Where in the Grammys, where you've had different people getting up talking about F ICE, we don't want to, we're for immigrants. This nation was built by immigrants, all of that, right? So they're really trying on that front. Another thing I noticed too is this is in the last few days, and I've been battling a couple of people on this, is that they're even going back into certain parts of Black American history and trying to and looking for examples where it may have been an immigrant involved in the story. And what they're doing is repackaging it and saying, see, Black Americans, if you fought for this immigrant, you should be fighting for all of these other immigrants. And I see right through it. Case in point, one of the talking points that's floating around right now is that they floating out the whole Amadou Diallo. You remember, guys? You remember that story? This was a guy. Can't recall the exact country he was from, but he was from Africa, and basically I believe he was sitting in a bar, just being cool and all of that. New York City had a crime unit where they were being very aggressive and going after people they suspected of being criminals, and so they went into this bar and basically asked him for his ID. He was reaching for his ID. Someone thought he was reaching for a gun, and the rest of the stories, unfortunately, he died. I think it was like over 40 bullets or something like that. It was crazy. Black Americans, along with all other people, gather together and we do what we always have done, and that was we protested, we raised all kind of noise about it, to the point where eventually that unit basically has been disbanded. Now they've reanimated it into something else, but for the most part it was taken down. Now, at that time, because I, like I'm sure many of you, were alive during that time, most Black Americans who participated in that, we weren't protesting because he was an immigrant. We were protesting because he represented something that we have been enduring for years and years and years and years. And Black Americans, along with other people in the community, got together and we made noise about it until something was actually done. We weren't doing it because he was an immigrant. Now, what we're seeing now is that people are now bringing that story back and they're trying to retell it from an immigrant perspective. I don't know what his legal status was. Was he here legally or illegally? I don't even know. I'll have to look that up and see. But it's irrelevant because what they did to him was still wrong. So they are literally pulling, and there's other stories within Black American culture that they are trying to reimagine these things and trying to highlight. See, if you fought for these immigrants, you need to fight for these immigrants, that kind of thing. So these are kind of the games that they're playing right now to try to get you in your emotions. And what Trump did, and I'm putting it right on him. What he did is yet another example of what they are trying to do to get Black Americans in our emotions and getting us just in a whole nother place where we're not rationally thinking things out. We're not strategizing. We're not protecting our peace. We're not doing those things. The basic things that we need to do to protect our nervous system, this is where they want us to be, because when you are in a state, when you're just in raw emotion, that is the state that is required for them, the powers that shouldn't be, to reprogram you. Because when you're in that state, it's almost like if you have a herd of sheep and you're just blowing a loud whatever it's horn. Well, they're in panic mode. And so they're going to listen to whoever has any sense of direction and say, okay, you go here. You know what I'm saying? And so farmers do this all the time. Well, this is the same playbook that they're doing right now. They want to get Black people in an elevated state of high emotion where all it takes is someone who seemingly sounds like they know what they're talking about. And they say, see, what you need to do is you need to go over here. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and so one of the things they're doing right now is everyone's preparing for the elections, the midterm elections. And so what are they trying to do? They're trying to get Black people riled up to a place where they want to drive Black people into a place where they say, okay, now you can vote for the other side because this side is racist. And we tried to tell you they're racist and all of this other stuff, right? That's what they're trying to do. That's the bigger issue. So we had to start off, if you're just joining us, welcome. But I would encourage you, go back because we had to start off with just, okay, this is what we know. These are all the facts that we know. Now let's widen it up a little bit. Now let's widen it up full screen. And that's what we're doing here. And so we're not get up here and talk about how God is going to strike him down and start bringing religion and all this other stuff in there. We ain't got to do any of that. We can sit down and calmly dissect this thing, and we can sit and we can still analyze this from a very peaceful, restful perspective while at the same time protecting our peace and moving forward. And every time I do videos like this, trust me, I am talking to myself too. This right here is coming from a place where I have every reason to get on here and to be talking about a whole bunch of other stuff and going off and stuff like that. But I'm not doing that. I have to demonstrate what I know is right. And this right here, what they're trying to do, I am telling you, they are trying everything they can to get us as particularly as Black Americans in our emotions in a programmable state. That's what's happening. So yes, it's absolutely wrong. There is no excuse. There's no pivoting, and there is no, um, you know, ducking and dodging. I'm not going to try to find a moral equivalence to it because wrong is wrong, period. I don't care if the Democrats did it. I don't care if we've talked about that. Republicans are the ones that are in control right now. And the head of the Republicans right now is Donald Trump. And for this asshat to get up there and to do what he did, there is no explanation. There's no excusing it at all. And for his press secretary to get up there, if she gets up there, whatever, and try to duck and dodge, that's crazy. I mean, you just can't even do that. But am I going to sit up here and demand an apology? He has to come up and he has to apologize to black people? No, because this system, this matrix system, was not designed for you. It doesn't mean that you're hopeless. It just simply means that you have a much wider perspective on how things work. Let me close out with this because, like I said again, I'm choosing peace today. I'm gonna do another video on Samba Tree later on. It was a video I meant to do yesterday, but I just had too much going on. But let me just put it to you in a very natural way, okay? Very natural. You know how I just said the system was not designed for you, right? The matrix system was not designed for you. We can say the same exact things for all of these plants and all of these things that we call weeds out here. And that's the video that I'm talking about. There was a time that they people never looked at what we call today weeds as something to destroy. I want you to hear what I'm saying. What we call today weeds was something that was never in earlier cultures. They never saw that as something to destroy. They saw something they people in ancient times, they would say, why is this plant growing here? It must have some type of meaning. And so what happened was that as time went on, and this is basically in European culture, when people start fencing in their lands, anything that was in their lands that they did not plant, they referred to it as a weed. They referred to it as something that was invasive. And they said, it doesn't belong here. I don't have any room for it. So I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to throw it out. Well, fast forward, now you have a whole industry that is designed for poisoning things that people say it doesn't belong here. But when we go into ancient cultures, what you're going to see is they didn't care. Something grew here. It was a particular, what we call today, oh, dandelions growing here. Oh, what's the meaning of that? Well, that dandelion is trying to tell me about the quality of the soil. At the same time, it's telling me that this is the time of the year that I need to focus on purifying my blood. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying transfer that to people. Same thing. Just because the system isn't designed for you, it hasn't stopped these plants from growing. That's my point. So we can still grow, we can still thrive. Even though the system isn't designed for you, it doesn't mean that you just have to jump off a building. It just simply means you find other ways to thrive and to grow and recognize that this system is not here to assist. It's not. So we need to stop focusing on that and begin to start focusing on us. We need to start focusing on us and the capabilities and the abilities that we have. That's what we need to focus on and not focusing on all this noise. I'm seeing today, when I tell you, y'all don't even, I am a true fan of history. I love our history. I can't even tell you how much I love. Like they talk about, oh, it's Black History Month. Like y'all didn't really see me do. Like I'm just starting to put some things about it. But for me, Black history is every day to me, and I'm not just saying that as cliche. I'm saying that because I mean it. I love our history. I love history. I love going like into Black American history, the history in the in the diaspora and in all over the place, right? I love it. I love it. And so I didn't need this 1 month, but um I forgot where I was going with that. But anyway, my point is that, oh yeah, that's what it was. So there's no, but what I'm seeing are people who are using AI. We use AI, but they're actually going through and they're reimagining some of these stories that aren't our history. They're just not. Like I've already caught some people. I mean, it's every year and it just gets worse. Where they'll find pictures of white people and they'll say, no, he was actually black. And then they'll create a whole thing around that. And it's like, y'all, we don't have to engage in all of that. Our history is so rich. It has so many great examples. There's so many great things in it. We don't have to do all of that. Let's just focus on that. And so, anyway, shameless plug. Make sure you, if you're not in our digital library, make sure you check that. I already got those information on our community page because I am constantly adding books. Like I'm adding month of February, of course. I've been adding more books, and I'm going to continue to add books and documentaries and stuff as time goes on. So make sure you check that out. But anyway, I'm not going to make this long, y'all. Listen, do not allow this system to herd you as sheep. Be the goat. Yeah, I'm gonna finish with that one. Okay, don't allow this system to label you or to herd you as sheep. I want you to be the goat. Now, for some of you, you may not have heard me talk about that, but I'll just sum it up very briefly. In religion and in politics, they see people as sheep. And the goat oftentimes is seen the one as the animal that's, oh, you don't want to be a goat. Well, let's explain that. Sheep tend to be very docile creatures, very nice, very beautiful, very calm, very relaxing. That's good, but they can be easily controlled. A goat, on the other hand, is one that is known to be very independent. And so it takes a lot more effort to steer and to control a goat. And so this is why. And so that in being independent, it's important for you to be that independent thinker. Where when you see everybody, all the sheep going, bad, bad, they calls niggas, bad, you see what Trump did, bad, bad, and you just going off and you just going on with it. I want you to be the goat. I want you to be the one that sit back and say, why are they doing this? I mean, come on, what's the real reason? Why are y'all so hell bent in getting black people all up in our emotions? Why is that? You understand what I'm saying? Be the GOAT. And GOAT doesn't necessarily mean the greatest of all time. Let's just take that out. I'm saying be that one where they have to work extra hard to try to get you to think to be docile, but you'll never be that. You know? I want you to be that. So yeah, don't fall for this nonsense. I'm thinking later on this evening when we do go live. There was a while back we did the news, but I actually was like playing a lot more music and stuff like that. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll take that approach. But what we're not going to do on this platform is that we're not going to get on here and start revving up, echoing emotions, and getting our people in this distractive state. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not going to do that at all. Okay, we're going to be a people that's going to move forward in understanding, in truth, and in peace. All right, that's exactly what we're going to do. All right, so that's all I want to get on here and talk to you about. I just felt like I needed to do that. When I saw that, I was like, just shook my head, and I knew, all right, here we go again. So y'all just keep it together. We're gonna be all right, and you don't have to panic. There's nothing at all to panic about. All right. Someone said, lovely rose bush behind us. Yeah, yeah, it is. We've got a rose bush here. This right here, which you can barely see, that's actually a peach tree. We didn't get any peaches yet on that, but hopefully next year, or later on next year, maybe we'll get one. That's an orange tree right here. Oranges didn't do too well this year. This is our first few months in this, in where we're staying right now, and then we got some lemons back there, and those are like all over the place. So anyway, so there you go. All right. Let me look at your comments real quick and see if anybody had anything here. Let's see, and then we're gonna wrap up. Only Lonely said it's a change management strategy called unfreeze, change, freeze. The excellent point. Excellent point. Excellent point. Only Lonely. Um, Someone said the DiCaprio and Tayana Taylor, sorry, movie One Battle After Another is another attempt to get us to protest ICE. Exactly. They're going to put. Do you understand? They are putting millions and millions, if not billions, of dollars into this to try to get black folks wrapped up in some other nonsense. Someone said, "I hear you, brother Dwayne, and I respect your efforts." All right, appreciate that. They tell you dandelions is a weed, but sell them in Whole Foods. Well, well, well. I've seen them in other grocery stores too. And someone said, and they grow through anything. Got a baby stinging nettle growing in the crack in the shower tile. Wow. Hmm. That's right. So I'm telling you, nature shows us exactly how we're supposed to handle ourselves in these situations. Okay. So that's it, y'all. That's it. I'm gonna unplug right now, get to work, and later on this evening, hopefully, I'll be able to jump on back on, and then we're gonna play some good music. I like I said, some new music. I'm sharing right now. I'm putting together. So that's how we're gonna flow. So again, thank you so much for joining us on this very short broadcast. You guys take care. Make sure you check out our website, Samba Tree, sambatree.com. Take care. Enjoy